Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of Highly Talkative, where we get high in conversation and discuss many topics from personal to community to anything that's going on in the world. So sit back, get cozy, and let me talk to you. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome back. Today is Monday the 19th, MLK Day. Well, technically it's nighttime because I'm recording at night, so good evening, everyone. Let's put it like that. I have a few topics I want to go over. I don't think this podcast should run too long. I mean, I do have a lot of topics I want to hit, but other than that, hopefully I don't take up too much of you guys' time, even though I don't mind if I do. Clock that. Okay, so the first one, getting hit on while pregnant. As most of y'all know, I am pregnant. I have a couple more months to go, but it's like I still get hit on. Like, they see the belly, they see everything, but that does not stop some of these men. And I'm just wondering, what is it that really goes through men's or guys' head when they see a pregnant lady? Like, that does not scare you? Like, that doesn't, what? I don't know. What does it do for y'all? Not that like I'm unappreciative or anything like that, but literally what goes through your head when you see a pregnant lady and you still like want to hit on her or take her out or get to know her or like understand the circumstances, and it clearly just doesn't matter to you because you're still trying to pursue the woman. So like that's really where I'm standing at. And any guy who is listening, please reach out at highlytalkative@gmail.com and give me some feedback on that or answer that question. Like, what do you guys see in pregnant women that you're still like, oh yeah, like I know you're pregnant, you're big as fuck, but that doesn't scare me. I still want to take you out. I still want to get to know you. I still want to do all these things. I need to know. Like, I really need to know. Because for me, when that happens, I'm just like, why? But then I'm also like flattered because I'm like, I know I got the juice, period. Thank you. Clock that. But yeah, so that was like one of my main topics that I had wrote down because it had happened to me a few times. So I'm really just like, what is it that y'all see? Like, I need answers. Another thing I want to talk about, the schooling system. I understand it, but I don't understand it fully. There have been like a lot of situations that have been going on around the school district that I'm in, and it's like if it's not one thing, it's another. From the time school started until now, my youngest is in elementary school, and they have these metal detectors that they have to go through every morning. But when we came back from, I want to say Christmas break, maybe. When we came back from Christmas break, they, I guess, did something to like the sensitivity of the metal detectors. So, like, if you go through with anything metal, like, they already can't have regular backpacks. The backpacks that they have to be transparent, like, they have to be see through. So, if you walk through the metal detector and you have anything metal, like that goes as far as your backpack having the metal zippers, you having a metal water bottle, your lunchbox having a metal handle, your pencil case having metal in it, it's going to set the alarm off. So for like the past week and a half now, my youngest has been, school starts, like the bell rings, the late bell rings, they start um the announcements and everything at 7:25, like sharp. Like once 7:25 hits, your kid's not in the door, they usually have them go through the library so they can mark them as tardy. But even while all of this is going on, they are still like running announcements and the Pledge of Allegiance and stuff like that. So, the past like a week and a half now, mind you, it's been cold as fuck outside during the morning time. Past week and a half, they have not been able to find a successful way to get these kids through the buildings without there being lines. And I mean, like, lines wrapped around the building because, again, each kid who comes in is basically setting off the metal detector. So after they walk through, they're searching their bags, they're winding them down, so on and so forth. Mind you, again, like, I understand to an extent the safety protocol and all of that, but these are elementary kids. So, like, pre K through fifth grade, they're doing this too. And I'm just like, okay, is there not a better way, a better solution that we can get this going? Because these kids standing outside, school starts at 7, school opens up at 7 o'clock. These lines start forming at 7 o'clock. They don't get through like the entire school, I would say, until about 7:35. That's 10 minutes after the tardy bell rings. So in my head at this point, if I know that this is going to be like the traffic jam, I'm not about to bring my son when he's supposed to come just so he can stand outside in this cold ass weather to wait to go through a metal detector. If that's the case, I'll just bring him when I see the line has died down. We'll walk up to the door and we can go from there. And then we had an incident where this had happened. Like I said, it's been going on for like the last week and a half, and they tried to mark my son tardy, but my son had been in the line, standing in the line for about 8 minutes before the tardy bell had rang. And when he finally got through the door, it was like maybe 7:30, and they're like cycling him through the library, which factors into them being tardy, and they're writing all these tardies and sending out like tardy notifications and all this. And I'm frustrated because no, that's not fair. My son's been sitting out here, he's cold as fuck. Like, I mean, he has on a jacket and all of that, but that's not the point. Y'all need to do something about that. So of course, like, me being me, I send an email to the attendance lady. The principal or vice principal reaches out to me, and they're just like, kids won't be marked tardy due to this issue. The metal detectors aren't broken, they're just like super sensitive. That's not a third. Okay, cool, but still, y'all need to figure something out. Like, we come back off of Christmas break, and then this is the issue that we're running into, and we need to figure something out. Because, like I said, if that's the case, I'm gonna keep bringing my son at 7:35, especially because they didn't send out any type of correspondence. Like, before this situation happened, no email came through from the school or the district letting us know, like, hey, this is the case. We triggered the metal detectors to have more sensitivity. Please, make sure X, Y, and Z. They didn't do that until parents started complaining. Like, they didn't do that until I sent an email, until vice principal reached out to me, and I'm guessing until they got like many, many complaints, because I just feel like this is something y'all should have sent us prior to us returning to school. That way we'll have a better understanding as parents and try to help support. But the fact that you guys sent no communication and then trying to mark these kids tardy because of something that y'all did at the end of the day just didn't sit right with me. So finally, like last week, I want to say Thursday, maybe Friday, they sent out this email explaining how they're going to maneuver the kids through certain doors. Like, pre-K through first goes through a certain door, second through third goes through another door, and fourth and fifth go through another door, whatever. So they'll have 3 doors that each kid gets to come through, but we'll see how that works because this just got sent out to us, I want to say like Friday. So we'll see how it goes for us tomorrow. And then that's not even to factor in, side topic, the kids that eat breakfast. Like, kids get there early enough to eat breakfast, and then the fact that they have to wait in these lines, and like, are they even getting breakfast? Are they able to eat the breakfast in the room? Like, there's so many questions that come to my mind when I see this happening, and I'm just like, what are we doing here? That was like something that was really irking me. Same thing with the same district. My oldest son, he goes to middle school, and there was like this issue with his science grade before we left for break. And I think I discussed this with you guys before, but the moral of the story is, like, his counselor reached out to me, and they're basically like, there's something they can do about his grade, but as long as he makes this grade the next 9 weeks, he'll be fine. But it still factors into, like, again, you have these teachers that are retiring and who start to not give a fuck about what they're supposed to be really doing for these kids, especially kids that are on like 504 plans and they are required to have like extra amount of time or certain amount of help. So when kids are being told, well, figure it out, you can do it by yourself, when that's not, what they're used to, especially with these certain accommodations, they start to feel defeated and they don't want to do anything. So like that's something that I brought to the counselor's attention as well as the principal, because I'm just like, okay, I get like this science teacher isn't on campus anymore, but that's still something that y'all need to make sure doesn't continue to happen, because me being me, I will take this shit to the district and we'll figure it out. Like, I don't want to do that, but at the end of the day, it's my kid over anybody else. Like, I want to make sure he's getting all the proper attention. And don't get me wrong, I understand, like, not every kid gets that solo attention, and I'm not expecting that. But if he has a 504 plan intact, and this 504 plan outlines certain things that I know they outline because I go over it and I make sure I'm at like every IEP meeting. Like, I want to understand the struggle that my sons are going through. So if I'm knowing this and then he's giving me this feedback and I'm reaching out to this teacher via email and via phone call and she's not responding back to anything, but then he ends up failing, I don't feel like that's on him. Because even with me, I'm being a proactive parent. So I know that you have like those parents who just don't care. Like, they'll see the failing grade, they'll get the notification, they'll move on with their day. But like, I'm not even emailing her to ask her like, can you get extra credit or anything. I'm emailing her because I'm seeing certain grades and I'm like, okay, is there anything that I can help him with? Because they don't get sent home with homework, they don't get sent home with anything. So like, is there anything at home that I can assist him with that will better help him improve his grades? Because I'm looking at what his grades are and it's not matching to what they were like the first 9 weeks. So I'm just trying to understand like where that drop off happened. And even when I had that conversation with my son, he was just like, I mean, I asked for help with certain things, but this 9 weeks, she's literally just been like, y'all figure it out. You do it on your own or go ask somebody else. And at that point, like, everybody's kind of fending for themselves. So it's just a lot that we're dealing with when it comes to this district. And I don't think every school in this district is terrible. I just think that it needs to be restructured in a way that really suits these kids. Like, I feel like a lot of these teachers do have these kids' best interests in heart, and they do not get paid enough. Like, let's be for real. These teachers around here do not get paid enough to deal with some of the stuff that they deal with. Like, 100%. I know that there's so many teachers out there that care for these kids as if they were their own, like support these kids as if they were their own. They like have these little apps where students can message teachers or whatever and like randomly ask them, hey, I have this basketball game, can you come support me? And these teachers really like on weekends go to tournaments to support their kids. And I love that. But then you also have to factor in those teachers that I was just talking about that really just don't care. And I know it's hard to weed out those teachers or really pinpoint those teachers, but like what really can be done. And that just makes me think like, do I need to become part of some type of booster club or something like that, get more involved in these schools so I can understand what's really going on when it comes to my child, because I don't play about them. Even like in situations where they're in trouble, I'm always that parent that's never gonna place the blame anywhere else. I'm gonna place it where it belongs, and I'm gonna try to get a better understanding. And any teacher or principal or whatever that's dealt with me and my child know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm always trying to get down to the bottom of things, and it's not just ever his side over anybody else's. I mean, I'll always have his back when we're there, and I'll always want him to know like right is right and wrong is wrong. This is why you're getting in trouble. This is what you did. Or I don't agree with him getting in trouble because at the end of the day, this kid was picking with him first and he told y'all multiple times and nothing was clearly done about it. So what else did you want him to do? Type thing. So yeah, that's kind of just what I've been dealing with when it comes to the school district and my kids. Low key, it really makes me want to venture out more to see what it's like elsewhere. but I also need to make sure like I'm doing the right thing. Like I'm not just doing this off of emotion. I'm doing this because I feel like this will better assist my kids with what is going on with their daily lives when it comes to schooling. So that's just like a ramble within itself. Top of that, we are finally getting this whole baby shower kind of planned out, like the food, the colors, games, invites, all of that. Shout out to my baby boy's best friend slash bro's mom because she's the one that's helping me along with my sister. My sister's gonna cook. I just got to get like all the stuff. Um, but yeah, so I finally got that in order. Honestly, I have about like 30 days, maybe like 32 days before the baby shower comes up. So I really need to make sure I'm getting everything in order, getting stuff printed out, just so when the day comes, I'm ready. Because let's be for real, my kids still have not stopped. My youngest has now started basketball, still going strong with football. He has one last tournament coming up in the middle of February. So after that, we should be kind of chill, except for track season is coming up. And I'm also trying to figure that out because we're moving to a new track team. And then I got to factor in like baby girl and how hot track meets be and what I what I really envision when it comes to that, because I don't see me taking my baby girl out there in this blistering hot ass Texas fucking heat to do like running events and stuff or looking at field events. But I also want to support her brothers in what they want to do, but I also hate missing out on their activities. If you know me, you know that I'm going to try to make any and every game that I can. And if I cannot make the game or whatever, I am asking for videos or asking for somebody to go live. Yeah, so that's just where we're sitting with that too. I'm just sitting with a lot of things, going through a lot of things. Like I mentioned 2 podcasts ago, like, I'm going through this change in life right now that I'm also trying to maneuver as best as I can. So far, it's working out. I want to stay positive. Everything that's meant for me will be for me. I will manifest everything I want. I can see my future. It's just, I have to get there. So, with that, like I've been telling y'all, I've been very intentional about a lot of the things that I've been doing. So, making a to do list daily, even if it's in like the middle of the day after I'm like, oh shit, okay, let me make this to do list. I try to stick to those to do lists. I try to be as intentional as possible. When I wake up, I try to tell myself exactly what it is that I want for me and need from me to have a good day, to maneuver within the day. Yeah, so making to-do list has really been like the key for me. Watching what I mark off, not thinking that I'm doing a lot in the day, and then I go back to my to-do list and I might have 13 things written down and I did 10 of the 13. I'm satisfied, especially if I did them with intention and it felt good doing them. I'm satisfied. I can't complain at all. So, wrapping that up, if you guys have had Verizon, you guys know about the service outage that happened last week, and it was just annoying. We couldn't make phone calls out. I could barely get like text messages and stuff unless I was connected to the Wi-Fi at home, and it was just really inconvenient. And it just reminds me of that one movie off Netflix. And it was crazy because as I was thinking this, I was listening to The Breakfast Club, and Charlemagne the God literally said the same thing I was thinking, where it reminds me of that one movie on Netflix, Leave the World Behind, and how like they lost all cell service and GPS and all this like other stuff throughout the world. And it was literally like people had to figure out how to connect with one another. This not I don't I'm not gonna say physically, but like without technology. Literally, like how are you gonna get from point A to point B because you don't have GPS? So how are you gonna figure that out? You have a message you want to try to get to somebody. How do you get that message out? Because there's no like technology. I think they had like radio signals and stuff like that, but you still had to figure out how to get to that radio or whatever. So like I wasn't tripping to an extent, but I kind of was because I'm just like, what the fuck? Like we pay way too much money to be having these service outages, and this wasn't the first one that they've had. I think they had one like at the beginning of the year, maybe at the end of the year in December of 2025. And it took them almost like 2, 3 days to even restore that service just in this area. And then, not to mention the credit that they're offering. I'm hearing like some people are getting $100 in credits, and then some people are getting like $20 in credits. I think they gave me an $80 credit on my phone line. And like, yeah, I want to be appreciative about it because at the end of the day, they could have not giving us anything. But like, let's be for real, Verizon. We pay too much fucking money for these phone bills, for the service outage to be like this, and to be getting like these little small credits. Like, y'all make way too much money off of us too, whatever. And again, it could be me being greedy. It could be like my hormonal state at the moment or whatever. But like I said, please be for real because people really rely on that stuff. And then it's like people's kids were out like on field trips or went certain places or whatever. And now they can't get in contact with their parents to get picked up or check in because the service was out. So it's like, what's really the deal here? Like, what's really going on? How did this happen? Like, did you guys, I don't know. More of the story is how the fuck did this really happen? Because, like, let's be for real. It's just weird. I don't think that this has ever happened before. I can't ever recall a time that this has happened. Like, yeah, home phone lines going down, but cell phones. Anyways, that's where I stand with that little outage thing in Verizon. Like, it literally kind of low key made me want to switch, and I've been thinking about switching to T-Mobile, but like I don't know. I don't know. I also have a topic written down about my dad and his granddaughter soon to be coming. He just plays way too much. Like my dad is hilarious. I think that's where me and my older brother Bino get our personalities from like him and his side of the family. I really can't speak for my older brother because we don't share like the same mom, but there's like certain traits that I see within us that I know for a fact that we get from our dad, and it's just crazy. But I had texted him and had asked him if he would get like this stroller set that I've been looking at because I really want it. And he's like, okay, send me the pictures and stuff so I can see what you're talking about. And of course, I sent him the pictures, and I'm already knowing that he's gonna have something to say because of like the price tag on this stroller set. But I'm like trying to plead my case because I'm like, Dad, it does this and it does this and it does this, and then I don't even have to worry about this and XYZ, whatever. I sent him the pictures of the stroller set or whatever, and the next day he calls me and he's like, you must think baby girl is Hillary Clinton's granddaughter or something like that. And I was thinking quick on my toes because I should have told him, nah, she's more like Barack Obama's granddaughter. But it's not the point. Like he was just so tickled at, I'm not gonna say tickled, but at the price of the stroller set. And like I said, I would expect nothing less because even when I seen that, I was like, damn, but I really want that. Like when it comes to my kids, I want the best for them. For me, I'll make do what I do. But when it comes to my kids, I really want the best for them, especially when they're infants and they don't really have a say so. It's so much easier to be like, oh, I know this, this, and this. But as they get older, they get their own little taste or what have you. So I'm really just waiting to see if my dad is going to come through with that stroller set. I'm not going to say like, my mom would do it because she would. And if you're listening to this, Dad, hopefully that makes you want to get it more. But no, um, all jokes aside, he's just so funny, and his personality I literally live for. When he's in a good mood, it's like rays of sunshine, the sky's the limit. But please don't get on this man's bad side because he don't play that shit. Now, I want to talk about going out without your kids. And I mean, like going to the movies without them, or going out to eat without them, or anything that you do for yourself without them. How does that make y'all feel? Like for me, sometimes I really love it, sometimes I feel bad, but I know like if I go out to eat, for example, sometimes like that's really where I try to leave my kids at home because we all have appetites of a grown ass fucking man. But I try to eat all of my food, but I also don't overstuff myself. So if I have leftovers, of course I'll take them home, but I'm literally trying to hide them because the minute they smell my leftovers or they know I went somewhere to eat without them, but I'm coming home, they're looking for a doggy bag. They're looking for it. And sometimes my oldest don't even ask. Like, I'll come home with the doggy bag. I'll put that bitch in the refrigerator. I'll take a nap. I'm waking up. I know I'm just going to go warm my pasta up from Chili's and I'm going to bust it down. And I open the refrigerator and that shit's gone. And I know it's only gone because only one person would do me so dirty like that. And that is my oldest child. And I'd be ready to fight him all the time. And I'm like, yes, I know that sounds petty. I'm fighting you over food. I'm yelling at you over food. But at the end of the day, this is my goddamn food. Like, I can't wait for you to go get something to eat or me take y'all to go get something to eat and you don't eat it all because then I'm going to wait until you get on your game and then I'm going to eat your shit. And I'm not even going to feel bad. But then I'd be feeling bad because I'm like, girl, it's just food. Like, you literally didn't take them. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll cook for them before I go, or on my way back, I'll bring them something from like fast food restaurant or what have you. But do not get me wrong. My oldest son is like the gross sister when it comes to food. Like, hand out, give me that, I want that, can I have that? I'm not even gonna ask for that. I ate that, I'm sorry. You can yell at me, but it was good. And I'm just like, what do I do? Like, do I just start taking y'all? Do I still not take y'all? And like, what do we do, y'all? What do we do? Because I'm tired of him eating my leftovers and he know what he be doing. Or this is where he really be fucking me up at. He'll wait till I'm asleep and he'll come ask me in my sleep, knowing damn well I don't know what I'm saying because I'm asleep. And then I'll wake up and I'll go look for it. And he's like, Mom, I asked you for your food and you said I could have it. When did you ask me? When you was asleep. Stop fucking asking me shit when I'm asleep because you know goddamn well I don't know what you're talking about. I really be that mad, y'all. And especially because I'm pregnant too. When I wasn't pregnant, I would still go from like 0 to 10 real quick. But with being pregnant, I go from 0 to 100. And I mean real quick over my food. It makes no sense. Let's see. What else do I have? Oh, being still versus being present. I think this is something me and my therapist also talked about, but then I heard it on another podcast, I think. And it was basically like, there's a difference between being still in a moment and being present in a moment. Like when you're still in a moment, you're really trying to figure things out. Like you're trying to read the room, get the temperature, try to see how you're going to maneuver about things. And being still is very important. Do not get me wrong, because even in the moments that I have been in, or even sometimes now, like I just need to be still. I need to figure it out. Just give me a second and let me process it, right? And then being present is like you can feel all of the emotions. You remember the day, you remember what somebody was wearing, you can vividly remember certain things about those situations and like how they made you feel. Being present in that moment, that's also important too. I know me and my therapist had talked about that. Like it's very important to be present in any moments. And that's when I really just started to incorporate that into what I've been doing with my kids, because I think that was something I used to do a lot when my mom was here, and I would always take the kids out to go do something. Like, it'd literally be me and like five other kids, me, my two sons, my two nieces, my godson, or my cousins. Like, I was literally always taking them somewhere just to build those memories, and I was so present in the moments. And although I was taking pictures, like if I were to look at a picture now from that moment then, I could literally feel how like happy I was, or the joy I got out of taking them to go do those things, because I wasn't forced to do it. It was just I was in the house, I was bored, we weren't doing anything. Y'all put on a bathing suit, I'm gonna pack us some sandwiches, let's go to Chalk Ridge. So that's something that like I'm trying to fall back into, because I know for a fact I can be still, but my question now is, can I be present? And how present can I be? Because that's important as shit. Like, not just being there, but being there, being present, being interactive, being intentional. Those are all the important things to me. I have like two more topics I'm going to touch on, and then I'm going to close it out. One of them is teaching my kids about the real world and some of the things that can happen to you. I've been finding myself lately asking my oldest son like scenarios, because he's 12 going on 13, and I don't want him to be oblivious to the world. Um I want him to be able to go walk to friend's house if he wants to, or if he has a bike, like ride his bike to certain places, and trusting that I instilled certain things in him for him to pay attention to and know what to do in those certain type of situations. So I've been like asking him random questions, and I think I'm gonna start doing it with my 8-year old too. And it's just literally like random ass questions, like you're walking home from school with your brother and you notice like a car is creeping. What do you do? And he gives me the answer, and I'm like, okay, I'm satisfied with that answer, and if I'm not satisfied, I'm like, or how about instead of you doing that, you do this, because that would make me feel more comfortable, or in my head this is what makes much more sense. So that's just something that at this stage in life I've realized that it's really important for me to do, because like I said, I don't want my kids to grow up oblivious. Don't get me wrong, I still want my kids to be kids, but I want them to be smart. I want them to know that there are certain things that you have not ever encountered at this moment, and I pray that you never do encounter them. But in the event that you do encounter them, I want you to know what you have to do. And I gave him like this prime example. I was like, when you went to New York and we visited our family out there, and you and your cousin got to go walk to the bodega, he knew his surroundings. He understood what it's like, because in New York, that's just the thing. They walk everywhere. So he's more vigilant. He understands how things are supposed to go. And that's all that I want for my 12-year-old who's about to be 13. It's just understanding the way that the world works, and it's not all peaches and sunshine. You have those people out there who are really just terrible people. Like, if you're hanging out with all of your friends who are predominantly white and they want to go play ding dong ditch, you have to understand like that's something you might have to sit out on. Like, y'all can go do that, bro. I'll be here at the house, because they may get a slap on the wrist where your ass might get shot because of the color of your skin and what people are already thinking. Now, I don't go that far into depth with it, because, again, I don't want to take from his childhood, but let's be for real. It's simple shit like that that our kids need to understand. And I hate it for us, but at the end of the day, that's real. That's life. That's just how the cookie crumbles. It shouldn't have to crumble like that. The cookie should be able to stay whole, but who are we to really tell the world or anybody else anything? I mean, as great as it would be to be able to, come down to that. But let's be for real. Racism was supposed to end how long ago, and we still encounter it as Black people, as Asians, as Hispanics, as Palestinians. People still experience some type of racism, and I just don't understand why it has to be that way. Last thing I want to touch on before I close out is having guests on the show. If you have not listened to my previous podcast, go back and listen to that. I was on with a co host. It was my nail tech, Tisha, and we really just, talked about life. She asked me questions, I asked her questions. It was a really good vibe. I really enjoyed it. So I can't wait to go down the rest of the list of guests that I have just to see, if the dynamic is going to be the same. How are the questions going to come in? Are the questions going to be the same? I know for my next guest, I have a couple and I have a whole bunch of questions, written down for them that I'm kind of excited to ask. Not in a sense of, I'll say I'm excited to ask because we're not on two different paths, but in a sense, kind of two different paths, two different journeys, two different levels of life. And I look up to them because they are, a little older than me, but it's like the foundation that they're setting for their kids and the way that they're moving with things is interesting to me. So I do have some questions written down for them, and I cannot wait to get on with them so I can ask these questions, see how everything goes from there. But having Tisha on the podcast was great. Like I said, it just makes me want to dive deeper into having guests. Maybe I'll do like an episode with just me, a catch up with Ashley, and then an episode that comes out with a co-host weekly or like every other week or whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's literally just me doing all of this by myself. Like I am the production team. So when it comes to like editing and all of that, I really have to give myself time. But I'm excited to continue on this journey and see how much further we can take this and see how many more people we can reach out to. I'm going to cut it there because I feel really good about how everything is going. It's like 8:30 at night now. I'll probably get this podcast posted Tuesday morning, or Tuesday like late afternoonish, depending on how quick I can get this editing done. And then I will talk to you guys next week or in a couple more days, depending on how I'm feeling. Do not forget, follow me, support me, subscribe to me, all the good things. You can find me on Instagram at highly.talkative. Follow me there. I'm starting to see like a little influx of followers, so please keep it coming because I'm loving it. You can follow me on Facebook at highly talkative. You can email me to provide feedback, ask questions, throw out some topics that you guys want to hear me discuss at highlytalkative@gmail.com. And lastly, I'm on basically all major platforms. I'm on YouTube at Highly Talkative Podcast. I'm on Spotify, Highly Talkative, Apple Music, Highly Talkative, iHeart, Highly Talkative. Look me up. You can also look me up on RSS where it shows you like more of the platforms you can listen to me on. Your girl really appreciates the support. You guys have a great night. I'm signing off. Holla.